I've lived in about a dozen countries over the last 9 years of digital nomading, and today I want to talk about the top 5 places I'd live in if I only had $1,000 a month budget. These aren't necessarily in any particular order, they're just places I would like to live if I did have that $1,000 a month budget. First up, I think I'd probably live in either Antalya, Turkey, or Istanbul. Both places are, very beautiful and are very affordable for Westerners, especially those on the euro or the dollar. First time I traveled to Istanbul a couple years ago, I was really surprised at the quality of the infrastructure. The roads were really well built. I was driving there and I was looking out the window and I was like, there's no way this is Turkey. I've always had I guess I had more of a rundown Middle Eastern country in my head for some reason. This was years ago, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. And, Istanbul is just a massive city. Like, there's just so many places you could live. There's just so many people there. Obviously, the food's really good. The weather's pretty mild most of the year. And then Antalya would probably be my second option for if I wanted to live in Turkey. It's down the southern coast along the Mediterranean Sea there. The next place I would probably choose would either be Bansko, Bulgaria or Sofia, Bulgaria. Same country, only about, I think, 2.5 hour drive apart. Both places are relatively inexpensive. Bansko, obviously a lot smaller. It's a bit more of like a ski town in the winter. In the summer, they do have mountain biking, horseback riding, that type of stuff. And then there's obviously a massive nomad base there that would be really nice to have as a community. I remember the first time I was in Bansko a number of years ago, and I went into this real estate office to sign a 3-month lease on an apartment there. And we just looked at 2 different options. One was a 1-bedroom, the other one was 2 bedrooms, more towards the city center. And the real estate agent was telling me the prices of both places. And when she got to the 2nd-bedroom place, she was like, this one, it's more towards the city center and it has 2 bedrooms. And she said it's a bit more expensive. And she slid me the paper and sort of said it under her voice, just like, it's a bit more expensive. And I looked down and I saw it was 300 euros a month. So it was double the price of the 1-bedroom place, which was going to be $150 a month. Actually, take that back. I think it was priced in euros, but, basically the same thing. So very inexpensive place to live. I remember you could buy loaves of bread there for 50 cents. And the prices have gone up since, but it's still a relatively inexpensive place to live. And like I said, you have such a community there. And then I just love the outdoors. So if you like the outdoors, you want a community, you want an inexpensive place, I would check out Bansko. The third city I would live in, I would probably go with Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Again, this list isn't in any particular order. I just love Kuala Lumpur. I love Malaysia in general. I think it's super underrated. Malaysia just has such nice people. Easy to meet people there too, honestly. I thought it was one of the easiest places to meet people. Very inexpensive. It is tropical like Singapore or Bangkok, but it's cleaner than Bangkok, although Bangkok is doing a lot to clean itself up recently. And the air quality is better. Also, I think it's a bit more walkable downtown. If you're in the KLCC area, you just have really high quality transit lines in the area, and then it's mostly just walkable. You can walk wherever you want as long as you can deal with the heat. And then they even have indoor pedestrian bridges downtown, sort of connecting some of the malls that have AC. For the fourth country, I'd probably go a bit north to Thailand, specifically Bangkok, maybe Chiang Mai, with Chiang Mai being a little bit less expensive. I know Thailand has become more expensive, especially recently, but I still think you could probably live there for less than $1,000 a month. You're just not going to be staying in, the best areas. Your budget's just going to be squeezed a little bit more, but I still think it's possible. And I still think you probably have a good quality of life for $1,000 a month there. And then for number 5, I'm going to go with a bit of a wild card here. I'm going to go with Zagreb, Croatia, or maybe Split, Croatia. I haven't actually been to Zagreb specifically since they switched over to the euro, but I still think you could live there for $1,000 a month or less. Like I said, you're just going to have to live in areas that are not going to be as nice as you could potentially live in if your budget was maybe twice that or 3 times that. But it is mostly a Western European country. And your proximity to the Adriatic is just great. Your proximity to Austria, Italy, Hungary, you're pretty well located in that region. So those would be my top 5 places to live for $1,000 a month. But just to throw in some honorable mentions, Bali is a place where you can live $1,000 a month still. I personally wouldn't go there with that amount just because you're going to have to live so far out of the main areas that you're basically in the countryside at that point. And if that's what you like, that's fine, but I just don't think the quality of life is going to be as good as it could be in other areas of the world. Another honorable mention would be Da Nang, Vietnam. That place is pretty great. The dollar goes really far there. And then, other Eastern European countries, Romania specifically is what comes to mind, maybe Georgia or even Serbia. So what do you guys think? What are your top 5 places you'd live for $1,000 a month or less? I know I didn't mention places in South America or Africa, for example. But again, that's just my preference. I like Europe. I like Southeast Asia. And if I had $1,000 a month budget, those are the places I would go. But I'm curious, what places did I miss? What places would you guys recommend? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to follow me. I'm on my 9th year of digital nomading while I buy and build businesses that fund my lifestyle.